If you're seeing this, you're watching the replay of our live sessions on Insight Timer. I invite you to join us there next time. You can always watch them live on YouTube, but we can't see your comments. I invite you to come over to Insight Timer to be part of the interactive experience. Welcome. We'll wait about a minute for others to join. So happy to see you all. Thanks for being here. How's our sound while we're waiting? Can you hear me clearly? I've got a heart. I see a heart. That must mean yes, maybe. Okay, great. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Emma. Great. Thanks, everyone. I'm grateful to be together. Hi, beloved. Oh, Deborah. That's so beautiful. Deborah shared, my heart is pounding that I finally get to see you live. Isn't that just the beauty of the grace of love? I've felt that way for so many years with my beloved Sai Ma, where just being in Ma's presence, my heart starts beating and this transformation starts to happen inside of me. My heart starts to open. Maybe at first through some resistance and awareness of all the ways that it hasn't been opened. Hi, Kelly. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, everyone. Thank you for being here. Let's officially get started. Let's do that together. Let's take a deep breath in and out. And in. Out. One more breath like this. Inhale. Exhale. I invite you to close your eyes. Of course, if that's uncomfortable, you can just have your gaze relaxed, looking down. Continue to breathe slowly and deeply. Allow a space between your teeth, maybe your lips. Feel your body softening. And when you're ready, open the eyes. We have a special guest today joining us for some time. Come sit down, sweetheart.
Oh, I'm going to sit.
Just for a minute, if you want to.
Hi, everybody. I love you, love you, love you.
So for anyone, and maybe, can you see both of us? I know if the screen is turned, maybe just come a little more centered.
Okay, let me fix my hair.
You look gorgeous, as always. You are gorgeous.
Hi, Camille. Hi, Tracy. Hi, everybody else.
So for anyone who hasn't met this radiant being, this is my beloved mama, Sandy Magram, who is a teacher here on the app as well. She leads live sessions
Thursday, 9 o'clock.
However, it's going to be
Central Time.
Friday this week, right?
This week it's going to be Friday at 9 o'clock.
Central Time. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
And I'm visiting family, so I thought it'd be really sweet to have Sandy join us. And I guess I should probably introduce myself as well, since some of you I might be getting to meet today for the first time. My name is Selena. I have been on this app for many years, teaching for many years, And I am deeply, what are the words I would say? My heart is yours. I've spent decades cultivating my own relationship with self, source, soul, spirit, remembering who I am as an embodiment of love, as presence. And part of the reason I'm on this planet, as many of us are, is to be here to love, to serve. And this is one of the ways that that happens in my world, our time together, so that we may remember who we are, so that we have tools to support us being with pain, discomfort, suffering that arises, to remember that we are loved no matter the mistakes we make, that we are always going to make mistakes, that pain is part of the human experience, and that we are so much more than the pain, so much more than the body, the mind, the emotions. Yes, this is our experience, and who you are is infinite, eternal. Who you are, if you wish to consider or believe, is life itself, source consciousness, soul having a human experience. So I have a lot of content here on the app. I have 2 courses. One is called Yogic Practices for a Peaceful Life. The other is called Awaken My Heart, a guide to living with self-love. And I don't know how long you'll get to stay with us, but I feel I'd love to kind of step into a conversation today around self-love. One of the reasons that I created the course here on the app, Awaken My Heart, a guide to living with self-love, and that I have so many self-love recordings of different kinds here on the app, is because I find that when I'm truly in conscious relationship with myself in a compassionate way, a present way, a loving way, that my experience of life completely changes. Who here knows the experience of feeling loved and it's like all of your worries just kind of go away? Or maybe you're in love and things that feel so challenging or painful all of a sudden seem like they're not a big deal. Just drop an emoji or some hearts or something. Hi, Anami. Hi, Vivian. Just give me an emoji if you can relate to this experience where somehow you either feel loved or you're so loving that the world you're experiencing changes. Yeah. What about you? You know that experience?
Yes, and it's taken me a long time to actually embody it.
Mhm.
But you can do it in just the blink of an eye.
And sometimes, yes. And part of, I could go on a tangent there, but I won't. I'm going to rein that back in. So, self-love for me is a guide home to self. If you feel lost, having a loving relationship with yourself will bring you into a place where either you have more clarity or you feel trust in the unknown. If you feel deep pain, being loving with yourself will either actually liberate you from that pain or help you feel so held in the process that you feel a strength to navigate it. Being loving with yourself, if you feel not good enough, will completely shift that. You can feel compassion for yourself. You all of a sudden see yourself through the eyes of love, the way you would see a child. If a child made a mistake or did something that you didn't like, you wouldn't see them as unlovable or unworthy. At least most of us wouldn't. So we can even see ourselves with the eyes of love, and it's a game changer. And I've been noticing this in myself lately. I've been noticing a feeling of disconnect. that's been showing up through pain, looping, agitated, painful thoughts, emotional pain coming to the surface. And I have recognized that one of the things that's made it so much more challenging is that I haven't been in a loving relationship with myself. I haven't been saying anything mean to myself, but I haven't been embracing myself. And even though I've been literally doing this work for decades, I can still forget. So if I can forget, maybe some of us who are newer to this path of self-compassion or listening or care, maybe we're forgetting too. So I wanted to take some time today for us to really go in to creating a relationship with ourselves, period, and a relationship with ourselves that is consciously kind. Julia, consciously loving, consciously caring. So that's my intent for today. Anything you'd like to share with us on all of that, my love?
Just one thing before I run away and make some breakfast is that when I said you can move into loving yourself fully, embodying it in an instant, I meant that.
Yes.
But unless that's a step, whenever you go from one vibrational level, a slow, old paradigm based feeling is very slow and dense and contracted. Whereas higher feelings, love, joy, compassion, grace, forgiveness, it's a high vibration, high vibration. So in that moment, when I become aware that I'm in a vibrational frequency that it doesn't suit me anymore, or I'm not choosing to be there in this moment, I will find a thought or a feeling from maybe something I watched, watching my grandchildren play, something I pull up, or even maybe even looking around at the sky or hearing the birds. And it brings me up to a higher vibrational level.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go through the day and that goes back down. But always, always, when you raise your vibrational frequency, a little bit stays, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. So instead of vibrating down here, living from down here in the pain and contraction and the old paradigm, fear-based paradigm, that is everything we've known before, you start to function from a little bit higher, a little bit higher, closer to all the birthrights we were born with. Grace, joy, love, laughter, everything that we consider that we want in our lives. And you start to become, so you're vibrating more and more closer to this feeling. You start to become aware that you are all of those things that you want to attain, that they're inside of you, hidden. And the more you raise your vibrational frequency through a thought or an emotion, a movie you saw that made you laugh, then you start to live more of that, more of who you truly are, which is a brilliant, vibrant, magnificent being of light and love. And I love you all so, so much. It's so good to see so many of you that I haven't seen for a while. And I love you, love you, love you. And enjoy my beautiful, better than ever, just exquisite, beautiful Selena.
I love you. Yes. Thanks for blessing us with your grace and your love and teachings.
Thanks for inviting me, all of you.
Isn't that a little treat for us? Yeah. You can maybe see where I get some of my loving tendencies. I don't know. She's not that loving. Just kidding. Yeah. And for anyone who's unfamiliar with my dad, Jonas Mangrum, he's also a teacher here on the app. His sessions are also, his sessions are regularly on Fridays, and Sandy's are usually on Thursdays. However, this week it's on Friday. Yeah, she's amazing. I agree, Mary. Beautiful. I'm going to come back here for just a moment. Well, actually, I'll come to that comment in just a moment. So let's just take a breath in that. This awareness that we are having these. I love how she did this. This for me is like if you see a chart of the waves of consciousness, right? That's what I saw her doing when she was doing this. And it's like the lower vibrations are slower, they're denser, yes? And the higher vibrations, they're faster and they're lighter. And there's no good or bad when it comes to vibration. Many of us have judgments about bad emotions and good emotions. I would say there's no such thing. I'd say there are different qualities of experience. The same way that you might have a buffet and enjoy some of this food and that food and the variety of experience. It's the same with our emotions. There's no good or bad in emotion or vibration. There's quality of experience. So I love we can bring the balance of both of what I shared and what Sandy shared. Sandy's sharing that if we are caught in pain, if we're caught in an experience of lower frequency or lower emotion, just shifting our mindset, shifting our thoughts specifically, it can shift like that. Maybe you've been looping a thought about some kind of pain or discomfort or something you don't like, something happening in the world, something happening in your body. And by the way, for anyone who hasn't practiced this, I invite you, when you're not feeling well, physically, mentally, or emotionally, look for the thoughts on repeat. Look for the thoughts on repeat. And you may be surprised by what your mind is telling you and how that's impacting how you're feeling. So, in the blink of an eye, as Sandy said, in an instant, we can shift our thoughts and we can actually take ourselves from the lower vibration to the higher vibration. And yet sometimes there's something else happening. She's kind of like a pro in that world, and I'm a pro in like the shadow work world, and merging the two. So sometimes things are releasing. Sometimes it's not just drama, emotional drama, or habit or pattern. Sometimes something's coming up out of our system to be freed. So how can we practice being present and allowing that pain to come to the surface so that we can move through it consciously? So I'm going to pause there for just a moment. I know that was a lot of talking. Let's just take a couple of breaths together. Just breathe in, soften your body. And as you breathe out, just feel yourself here. Maybe feel the chair you're sitting on, the floor beneath you. Take another conscious breath. And again, just release and feel yourself here. And do this one more time. I'd like to come back to Deborah's comment shared earlier. Deborah shares, I have extensive physical pain, a fair amount of emotional pain, and some psychological pain. It has gotten more sweetly. It has gotten more sweetly. And I think that's such a lovely way to write that. And I think that's because I'm being led to where I need to be. Oh, severe. Thanks for clarifying. Sweetly was a nice word there too. It has gotten more severe, and I think that's because I'm being led to where I need to be. You've helped me get even closer to God than I was before. Oh, my love. I feel that so deeply, and I'm so grateful to be with you on your path, my love. And also, we could even play with that last sentence. I have helped me get even closer to God than I was before. I have. You have. Your courage, your continued walking through this fire that you're inside of. And I really wish to honor you and your journey of the pain, and also your perspective of it. Many, if not all of us, know the experience of when pain feels so strong, we get lost in it. It feels like it will never heal. Sorry, can you still hear me? There's a lot of background sounds coming in on the other side of the door. Okay, great, thank you. Um, Sometimes we can really feel lost in the pain and forget a perspective that it's guiding us. Or I often think of the Rumi quote, "The wound is where the light enters." Or maybe the perspective that life is happening for me, not to me. It's often not easy to go there when we're in a lot of pain. So I really honor you also in that, my love. Your ability to say, I am having pain, severe pain, physically, mentally, and emotionally, and I trust that it's guiding me somewhere. I trust it's bringing me closer to God, closer to myself, that this is allowing the light to enter me. And of course, this perspective is a choice. Some of us here today won't choose that perspective. For some of you, that feels offensive, even. And I honor your decision and your choice and however you are in your experience. Absolutely. For me, this is absolutely the perspective that I've had for a long time, and I'm so deeply grateful. I'm sure, actually, it was absolutely my mom, probably my dad too. But I remember being very young. Like, I think the first time I consciously remember my mom speaking to me about this, I was about 10, and maybe younger. And I remember her saying something like, the greatest pain creates the greatest compassion. The greatest pain creates the greatest compassion. And so I've had this training from an early age to see pain as a gift, to see the most awful things I've gone through as my growth, my evolution. And even that teaching has evolved in my mind and my being over the years, where although I may resist it at times or wish it was different, I'm able to hold the perspective that when I'm in excruciating emotional pain, sometimes physical, although emotional is more common in my life experience, I can hold the perspective that that excruciating emotional pain is somehow breaking me open to love more, to be more available, to be a vessel of light, to break me open, to be more of who I truly am. A belief that there's freedom on the other side of such excruciating pain. Astrid asks, do you think there are different versions or categories of pain? Astrid, thanks for asking that. The first thing that comes to mind is the distinction between pain and suffering. And there may be different definitions of it. For me, the distinction is pain is something that naturally arises, whether it be physical, emotional, a mental experience of agitation. Suffering is when we are feeding the pain so that we stay stuck in it. Oftentimes, this looks like resistance. Pain is naturally arising, and we say, "I don't want to feel that pain." But what happens, right? Let's say that the pain wants to come up and out. It just wants to go. It wants to leave. It doesn't want to stay inside. But I say, "Oh, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to look at this. I don't want to be with this," right? And so we push it back down in our own system. So there are different ways that we create suffering. We could consider, though, that pain is natural and suffering is the resistance to the pain or keeping it alive through looping thoughts and so on. Astrid shares, I really don't want to be in my usual well-known pain. Probably this is suffering. And then Astrid shares, yes, lots of pushing down in my behavior right now. Yeah. And I guess I would ask you, Astrid, is that what you want for yourself? And there's no lead in here. I really genuinely am asking you. And many of you know who we've been together for some time. Some of you are unfamiliar with my style. I'm not here to make you believe something or to change your thoughts about something. If I share something that resonates with you, beautiful. If something I say doesn't resonate with you, all is well. You're welcome to be here fully as you are. So, again, my love, my question is this what you want for yourself? Do you want to be pushing down? And I have something to ask after this or to share after this because of course sometimes we may not want to push things down, but this is what's happening. And Deborah shared, I have learned that resisting anything will definitely cause some form of pain. Absolutely. It makes me think of Byron Katie's work. For anyone who's unfamiliar with Byron Katie, one of my favorite teachers, such a exquisite embodiment of compassion, who has brought some very clear tools to work with the mind and to reduce, if not completely alleviate, our suffering in the moment and even beyond. And I'm trying to remember which teaching I was just thinking of. Oh, yeah, just that essentially so much of our suffering, if not all of our suffering, comes from resisting what is. Think about it. Let's say I have an uncomfortable emotion coming up and I don't like it. It hurts. I don't want to feel it. And so I try to distract myself, which is another way of pushing it down. Or I just try to not feel it, which is another way to push it down. And believe it or not, sometimes looping thoughts about it will also just keep pushing it down rather than really feeling it and letting it move through. So in that moment, I'm resisting the pain. I'm saying, I don't want to feel this way. It shouldn't be here. Doesn't that make the pain bigger on some level, even if we're not aware of it? Or as I often use this example in our sessions together where I say it's like looking at a rock and saying this rock should be a tree and getting really upset. This rock should be a tree. This is what most of us do with reality, by the way. Whether it's something atrocious and tragic happening or something that we just don't want or like in our lives, we resist it. We say it shouldn't be this way. And then what happens inside? We suffer. We're in pain. Who here knows this experience? You can just drop an emoji where you've been resisting something in your life. And if you really get real with yourself about it, you can recognize it just causes you suffering. Even with things happening in the world, for example, tragic, horrible things. When we look at it and say it shouldn't be this way, it doesn't make it any better. Having the thought it shouldn't be this way causes me to suffer. Now, this doesn't mean for me personally that I don't take action. There are the things that I think it shouldn't be this way. I suffer and I take action. Maybe sometimes I'm enlightened enough to say, I recognize that this is the way that it is, and I wish to create a different reality, so I'm going to take action. Maybe it often starts with the former. I resist and suffer first. But do you understand what I'm saying, my friends? It's the resistance to what is that is causing our suffering. And sometimes we could even look through different perspectives and say, it's not even the thing itself that causes the suffering. It's actually our own relationship to it that causes suffering. I just want to say one more thing on that, and then I'm going to come back to your comments. This is going to be a little deeper, a little more, I don't even know the word I would want to use here. It's not nuanced, but it's not complex. It's something it's more refined almost in our field of awareness, self-awareness. Some of you may not even kind of understand what I'm saying, and that's okay. Some of you may. What I'm speaking to now is the experience of being able to so fully shift your resistance to something that the suffering stops. And again, this is actually coming back to Byron Katie's work, because she gives us very clear steps to ask these 4 simple questions. And we can actually go from an experience of total suffering and feeling stuck in the suffering to liberation in a matter of minutes. It's quite fascinating. So the experience I'm speaking to is, for example, let's say that you're holding on to something. Let's say this is just the first thing that kind of like popped into my mind. Let's say that someone you were in a relationship at some point with or previously is in a new relationship. And let's say that for whatever reason that triggers you. And in your mind, you're thinking about it and you're thinking, oh, I can't believe they're in a relationship. Or I don't know, what other thoughts might we think? I don't like this, or this hurts, or making it about ourselves, whatever it is, there's a resistance. And then maybe you have this experience where you shift your mind and you say, this person's in a relationship. It has nothing to do with me. And I no longer need to fight it. I can turn back toward myself. I can love myself. And it's like all of that resistance that was causing you suffering because you were resisting reality, it all of a sudden drops away. And there you are free. Does anyone know an experience like this? Of course, there are countless examples I could use, but the gist of it is having the experience of suffering and then shifting your resistance to what it is that you're resisting and feeling free. Does anyone know this experience? You can just drop an emoji. I'm so happy to see all of you. This is so lovely. Hi, Jacqueline. So beautiful. Yeah. So let's come back. This is a great conversation on pain today. So let's see, where were we? Deborah shared, I also learned a few decades ago, oops, sorry, comments pop away when new comments come in. An example of not resisting is I tell myself, I am like a tree. They are often swinging in the wind, etc. And that helps a lot. Beautiful. Yes, often we hear this as the idea of being bamboo, just allowing life to flow through us and allowing us to just be in the flow of life. Beautiful, Deborah. Hi, Chris. So happy to see you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, and Astrid coming back to, I had asked Astrid if she'd wanted to continue pushing things down. The answer is no. I would really like to open and accept. I thought I did, but perhaps I tricked myself a little bit. How do I not resist? Looping thoughts sound very familiar. Yeah, let's drop into that for a moment. For me, and this comes back to our theme that I wanted to touch on today, which is nurturing our relationship with ourselves, being loving with ourselves. For me, so much of the access to resistance is really being with myself, freeing myself from the resistance, is really being with myself in the pain. Many of you have heard this story that I share of this time that I walked into the bathroom and I saw myself in the mirror, and the thought that popped up said, "You're so ugly." And I just paused for a moment and I put my hand on my heart and I said something like, "Oh, my sweetheart, you must be in a lot of pain to have a thought like this. What's the matter?" And it was like it caught that part of me off guard. The part of me that was in so much pain, it turned nasty, right? We all know this. Where some part of you feels so hurt, it starts to turn into bitterness or rigidity or anger or rage. It turns us into this little creature. So I said, "Oh, my sweetheart, you must be in a lot of pain. What's going on? What's happening?" And I just listened and I said, "What do you need from me?" And this part of me that was like, warriored up with it was a protector at that point. It started to crack and open, and there was this tenderness and these tears underneath it. So for me, one of the main access points that I have to stopping resisting is to just accepting myself as I am. I feel this pain and it really hurts. And then I give that part of me a voice, or I just listen. And so often the looping that happens in our minds, the looping of replaying a story, replaying something that happened, or just replaying our thoughts or our judgments about an experience, often it is our mind, our nervous system looking for a solution, looking for some kind of resolve. It says subconsciously, if I think about this enough, maybe I'll find a way out of the pain. If I think about this enough, maybe I'll find a way not to feel helpless. If I think about this enough, maybe the hurt that I'm feeling will finally go away because I'll find some relief. But we know it doesn't work that way. The looping thoughts just bring us back to this stuck point in the suffering again and again. And sometimes maybe we just need to acknowledge that part of us. Oh, my sweetheart, my love, I get that you are just looping because you're desperate for relief. And I just want you to know that's okay. I want you to know that I'm here for you, no matter how much pain you're feeling right now. How does this feel, my loves? Like just when I talk to myself this way, or when I share this example, I'd really love to hear from you. Please share in the chat. How does it feel for you to hear me speak like this? What happens in your body? What happens in your heart? And what happens in your mind? Some of you be like, this is so stupid, right? So I'd really love to hear from you. What's happening inside of you? And we can also consider that whatever's happening in you as you hear me speak in these ways is also shining a light on your inner world right now. It's guiding you to see more deeply what it is that you're needing, what it is that may be happening inside of you. I'm going to come back to your comments, and I invite you to share in the chat. Yeah, so I just want to come back to a few things. Oh yeah, Macy's sharing, I live in Central Texas. Sorry, your comment just disappeared. And the floods here and lost lives are absolutely tragic. And it is hard to accept, yes. Yes, and sometimes all we can do is just hold it all. If we can even do that. Sometimes we don't feel the capacity for that, and that's okay. We let ourselves grieve, and we hold each other, because there's so much suffering and pain in this human experience. And sometimes all we can do is just get through it. And holding ourselves and holding each other it's so invaluable in our individual and collective healing. And to lean on each other as family members, as friends, as community. It's essential. Vivian shares, pain to me is like a life lesson. Oops, there they go again. Universe is sending me a message, but it has been a constant pain from different avenues since I was 14. How to get out of it? I feel you so deeply, my love. I just feel you and feel much tenderness being with you like this. And I also can relate very much. Very, very much. The thing that pops into my mind without any kind of filtering is that two things pop into mind. One is that some of our souls, and this is all perspective, yes, some of you may feel like this is the most awful, offensive thing that you could hear. And I fully accept you. I'm not here to say that you need to have the beliefs that I do about soul or soul contracts. This is absolutely how I believe, though, the world to be. So the first thing that popped up was that some of our souls have contracts to either do a lot of this painful work in our lives, one thing after the next. Some of us could see this through the lens of clearing karma from past lives. Some of us see this through the lens of healing generational trauma and wounds. Some of us could see this as soul contracts, things that we chose before we took birth to grow and evolve. There's also a perspective that some of our souls have what you could say completed the cycle of birth and death over and over again on this planet and have chosen to come back to be of service. And some of these volunteer helper souls take on even more of the collective pain. So not only is there the individual pain and life experience, there's also this service to humanity as a whole. So there are many perspectives we could look at. The other thing that comes to mind is we are on this planet that is birthing into her enlightenment. And if you think about enlightenment through the lens of light, I love how my beloved Saima, for anyone who's unfamiliar with my teacher, Saima, this is a picture of Ma. I love how I've heard Ma speak on enlightenment and the ego. It's not about annihilating the ego consciousness. It's about enlightening the ego. Pour light into the ego. Bring so much love into the ego that it can rest in the nature of light, in the nature of the self. So, if you think about the planet moving into her enlightenment, there's so much light happening on the planet that everything that is non-light must come to the surface. And we are part of this planet. These bodies are part of this planet. So everything that is of non-light, which my understanding is everything is ultimately light, but in this world of duality, everything that is non-light is coming to the surface. And this isn't just this moment in time, right, when we're seeing horrendous things happen on this planet and experiencing them. This has been happening for some time. So there's this birthing into the light, and therefore all of the darkness needs to be known. Maybe not known, because that gives us this sense of needing to be in relationship with it. It all needs to come to the surface. Sometimes the knowingness is part of our journey. Sometimes it's just about freeing it, freeing ourselves. I'm going to come back to some of your comments here. Yes, Tina. Again, I just wish to, I don't know if I think I verbally acknowledged your comment. If not, I just wish to acknowledge this feeling of never having been able to shift perspective. And maybe the first step is just to hold yourself in that. I accept myself that I haven't been able to shift. And I love the part of me that feels abandoned. I love the part of me that feels hurt. I love the part of me that's still making me wrong, because that's what we don't often get. We keep blaming something on the outside, not understanding that the real source of the pain is the part of us that feels unworthy, not good enough, the part of us that can't reconcile feeling rejected or abandoned or hurt. And I feel that because everyone is a mirror of us, when we can't fully release something, I think it is in our relationship with ourselves that the healing really is waiting for us. It's when we heal that thing in our relation, not just in us, but in our relationship with ourselves, that we free ourselves from that situation or that person or whatever it might be. And I'm still learning this. I mean, I guess that's part of being human, right? No matter how much knowledge we have, we'll continue to learn. Thanks for sharing that. Astrid shares that it is so wise, Selena. Before we can accept what we resist, we need to leave room and understanding for the part that resists itself. Yeah. I often think of any part of pain inside of me, inside of us, as like this little part that needs something. The pain is some part of us that is in need of love, in need of forgiveness, in need of a hug, in need of knowing that it's good enough, whatever it is, that it's safe. Macy shared this quite a long time ago, but I see your comment, Macy, about when you said it like that, I need to speak to myself and my wife like that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, this is back when I was asking, how did it feel to hear me speaking to myself like this? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, beautiful. Some other comments from that question. Tracy shared softening, opening, connecting. Chris shared it enforces my intention to be the let it go king. Yeah, yeah. Makes me feel understood, shares Lisa. Kelly shares reminding me to hold myself with compassion like I would a best friend. Yes, 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 yes. Chris shares when speak that way to yourself, Selena, it resonates and reinsures with my alignment and sense of belonging to something greater than myself. Beautiful, right? It's like that's for me part of the beauty of compassion. It opens my universal heart, my cosmic heart, that remembrance of our oneness. Ah, yes. So, Macy, what I was saying is when that thought popped up that said, you're so ugly, it was just like from that nasty place inside, which is a part in pain, right? Remember this, my loves. Any negative voice inside of you we could consider as coming from pain. It's coming from pain in you. You're not bad. You're not wrong. There's not something wrong with you. There's part of you in pain. It's trying to get your attention. It's trying to protect you, whatever it's doing. So this voice popped up, you're so ugly. And I held my heart and I said, oh, my sweetheart. Because that's what naturally came from me in that moment. You must be in a lot of pain to be having a thought like this. What's the matter? What's the matter? And what do you need from me? And let's be clear about the distinction here. Not that it always has to be this way, but I say, what do you need from me? Because oftentimes we feel helpless and desperate, wanting something outside of us to change. Oh, I need this person to forgive me. I need this person to change. I need the world to be different. I need more money. And the moment we're waiting for something outside of us or someone outside of us to change or make us feel better, we're stuck in the same place. So for me, I really specifically say, what do I need from me? And maybe that guides me to take action in the outer world. So for example, let's say I need to feel safe in my relationships. And so for me, that means, okay, I'm going to need to set a boundary with this person, right? So you can see it starts with me. It starts by going inside and tending to me, but it may also reflect on things I need to create in my outer world. Chris shared, this is popping forward again. I've started to transition from a personal ego to a more universally centered ego at age 46. Beautiful. I love hearing it from that perspective, right? It's like you're more self-aware, kind of stuck in your own world, thinking about yourself, and then something starts to shift, something starts to expand, or maybe you start to think of others more, feel more connected to others, think of people on a bigger scale. Yeah, Chris said, you'll never know it all as a human being. It's so true. So relationship with self, compassion, listening, accepting rather than bulldozing, distracting, or repressing something that's coming up. And we have different tools that I have here on the app to support this. I have different self-love meditations, and there are 2 specific meditations that I've created to be able to be with ourselves in pain when there's resistance or discord, or we can't even get to a tender place. One of them, many of you are very familiar with, it's on the free section of the app. And that one is called Self-Soothe Emotional Healing, or Self-Soothing Emotional Healing. And this is a guided journey to be able to go meet the parts of us that are in pain and to actually be with them. Because again, some of us have this experience who say, I've been feeling this pain forever. Why do I still feel stuck? And sometimes it's because we're not actually allowing ourselves to feel it fully. Sometimes it's also because it's just coming in waves, and that's what's happening. The other meditation is on the subscription side of the app, and it's called Healing Meditation for Self-Criticism. So I think both of those are nice guides for this kind of work that we're doing here together today. Let's take just take a breath together. We just went really deep, so breathe in and exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do it one more time. Big sigh this time. Inhale. Good. So I want to share a couple of things with you. We will be meeting together, not next week, but we'll have quite a few days in a row again together, starting in 2 weeks. I'm really looking forward to some regular times together. So you can count on that. You can see my, what is it called? My schedule on my profile page under the events section. I am still leading these retreats. For anyone who's unfamiliar, I do lead retreats, and it's such a joy to be able to partner with Insight Timer and be able to share them here with you. So you can find out more about my retreats on my profile page as well, or going to the retreats tab. Of course, if you have any questions, you're welcome to send me a private message, whether here on the app or elsewhere. Send me an email, anything you like. For the Bali retreat, the Divine Remembrance retreat, right now the rooms we have available are for anyone who wants to stay off-site. So actually, technically, we don't have the rooms available, but there is a wait list, and there are probably going to be some opening up. So if you'd like to join for the Divine Remembrance retreat, which is exquisite, one of the most beautiful places on the planet, fully supported and cared for by the most beautiful people there at the resort. Lots of fun, lots of joy, and lots of deep silence and connection with self and being together in soul family community. So that's happening May 16th through 23rd, 2026. And there will be some rooms opening up right now here on the website, here on Insight Timer. We only have the off-site accommodation option listed, which is basically where you get a much lower price point to book your own accommodation close by, and you still get to have the full luxury experience at the luxury resort with all of the food and experiences of the retreat. And then my Hawaii retreat, that one is currently sold out. Of course, you're welcome to hop on the wait list. Actually, I'm thinking that we may pop on May, because this one's pretty much sold out. We may open up another Hawaii retreat for early 2026. So if you're interested in the Hawaii retreat, you can find out more about it here on Insight Timer. And just send me a message if you want to get on the wait list, because I know many of you have inquired about it, and because the spaces are full, You've wanted to know when the next one is. So send me a message if you want to get on the wait list. Yes, the pricing is reflecting the experience of the resort. So the Divine Remembrance Retreat is at a luxury resort center. And I love, one of the things that my beloved Saima has opened up in my world, because my world wasn't one where I experienced luxury growing up or many experiences like that. And I have stepped into this world of knowing what it's like to feel so cared for and to experience such grace and beauty through physical spaces. And it's really a joy for me to get to share it with you the way that Saima has shared it with me. So I will, of course, be having retreats that are not at super uh, luxurious or incredible spaces. We'll find some places that are more manageable financially for others to join. For now, though, those are the ones that we have. Because I want to give you an experience. I want to take you into this lap of luxury where you just feel completely pampered and get to experience that world for yourself. Yes, Tracy. And at the Bali retreat, there is a water slide. Yes, yes, yes. And absolutely, Anami. That's it. Anami shared, would really love to partake in that. Wish it were financially feasible. Perhaps I can invite magic in to make it so. And I would say, absolutely. That's what I've done. That's what I did for so many years with Saima. So many years. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make this retreat happen, but I know I need to be there. And I would just say yes, sometimes just in my heart. Sometimes I would register and Hail Mary, and it would always work out. And I'm not saying that's I would love to believe that for you, but I also don't want you to say, Selena said it would work out and it didn't work out. So you take on that magic of manifesting if you wish. I can't say anything on it as a guarantee. I can say from my personal experience, when my soul has said, you must have this experience, and I said yes, even though I didn't know how it would work out financially, I always found a way. Now, some people I know have had that experience and they haven't found a way. They've been like, ooh, I was in debt for a couple of years. So there's a full spectrum of experience. However, you know yourself as a powerful creator. You know what's possible for you to create. You know. I don't have any doubt. You are a powerful creator. So it's your choice to how you want to meet life in those ways. Yeah, that's all. Just a choice. Yeah, yeah. Beautiful, my friends. Beautiful. And one other thing, just to kind of plant a seed in your awareness. Oh, thank you, loves. Thank you for everyone who's donated. Thank you. I'm grateful for your generosity. There are going to be some other events starting next year that will we'll probably start more on the US mainland, and they will be more weekend experiences. So rather than taking a week off of work and flying across the world, they will be someplace more accessible for many. And because they will be weekend workshops, they will also be more financially accessible. So you can just keep that in the little pocketbook in your heart, knowing that there are opportunities coming for us to be together in person in a financially feasible way. And I'm absolutely, absolutely, absolutely looking forward to that. Deborah's asking, how far north do you go? There will probably be a Canada tour at some point. I'm not sure how soon that will happen. It may not be till 2027. So yes, we can look forward to opportunities to be together in person. Oh, thank you all so much. Before we close out the session, I just love to leave some space for anything you wish to share. And maybe for the sake of time, just like a little snippet. Maybe you wish to share a couple of words just on how you're feeling after all being together. Maybe there's an emoji you want to share. Anything you wish to share. And if you haven't shared anything today, I invite you to drop something in the chat so I can feel you and see you, and everyone else can feel you and see you. We really are a family here. Some of you are here for the first time today, and I warmly welcome you. Some of us have been here literally for 5 years together. And this space is for everyone. This space is for everyone. No matter how you feel, no matter how you think, no matter your political views, your identifications, your preferences, all of you is welcome here. Every part of you is welcome. The light, the dark, all of you. All of you. Nice, Chris. That's a gift. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Lindsay, for your donations. I'll wait just a few more moments in case anyone's typing, and then we'll come to a close for today. If you've been watching someplace other than Insight Timer, I invite you to come to Insight Timer next time so that we can see your comments, because otherwise we don't get to interact with you. We don't get to see any of your comments. Oh, and one other thing while some of you are typing, I have 2 new-ish tracks on the app. One is I think it's called Start Your Morning with Intention, and it's just a short track. I know sometimes I have very long tracks. This is a shorter one just to kind of give you a little boost. Start Your Morning with Intention. And the other one is a short version of Bee Breath, a variation of Brahmari Pranayam. That's also about 5 minutes long. And both of those are available to serve you in those moments you need like just a quick boost. Thank you, Sally. Deborah shares, you are a true gift, which I'm grateful for. And I'm glad that I got to experience this with several people. Yes, my love. I'm so grateful we get to be together. How's your heart feeling now after getting a whole hour together? Hi, Lindsay. Lindsay shares, thank you, Selena. A beautiful session as always. Thank you, love. Deborah shares, pounding out of my chest, but totally worth it. Yeah, that's the heart expanding. Expansion of the heart. Just allow it to be. You can hold your heart. I'm loving myself. I'm healing myself. Remember, you are all healers. You are your greatest healer. You are your greatest teacher. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, beautiful, Vivian. I'm so glad, my love. So glad to hear from you after I shared all of that. Yes, thank you all for being here. Hi, Glenn. Thanks for popping on and saying hi. Oh, great, Lindsay. Wonderful. Okay, my friends. Tracy shared in the chat, Om JJ Saima. It's something we say in our community with Saima. And it means I honor the divine feminine in you. I honor the divine feminine in me. So I bow to you and I say Om JJ Saima. I honor that divine principle of the feminine that is in each of us, in myself, in our oneness. And I also wish to say, because we live in this world that's transitioning from old paradigm to new paradigm, and there has been so much distortion with masculine and feminine. And I also wish to share that the masculine in its essence, in its alignment, is gorgeous. It's gorgeous, just the way the feminine is such a gift. So I honor this in each of us. I honor the divine remembrance in each of us, where we know that all of these energies are one. We are one. within our own being. You are whole. There's nothing missing from you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing missing. Nothing. You are so loved. You are an embodiment of love itself. It's who you are. You're a light. You're a consciousness. You are source having this wild, wild human experience. You are a gift. I cherish our time together. Oh, hi, Diane. Oh, hi, Molly. You popped on at the end. Hi. I love you all so. I love us so much. One of my dear beloveds, he says, I love you, me, us. You, me, us. He spells it all one word, you, me, us. I love you. I love you. I love you. See you very soon.